Hello and welcome to Procrastination Station. This is a show about sustainable creativity and self-sabotage. I'm your host, Hannah, and I'm a multi-passionate creative with lots of feelings, too much compassion, and a splash of sass. I believe everyone self-sabotages from time to time, sometimes even unaware that they're holding themselves back. I want to know how our setbacks can become our superpowers and how we can grow through our downfalls to find gifts within us to bridge the gap for people to fill the spaces where we lack. In other words, how can we invite all parts of ourselves to come along for the journey? Self-awareness is the first step. I believe we make change by reflecting on our values and perpetuating our values to our community. I get in touch with my values through creative practices, and I use the show to share those values with you by encouraging you to be more creative more often. Throughout the show, you will hear my pseudo-intellectual business opinions, superpowers and setbacks to perceived flaws, and creative strife and victory. Please keep listening, and I hope you enjoy today's topic. Hi, today I want to talk to you about being a chameleon person. Now, I'm a bit of a chameleon person, and what that means to me is I'm somebody who knows how to blend into any room that I'm in. I've been told before that I really know how to work a room. I'm really great in networking environments, and that is because I do not always allow my uniqueness, my bright, shiny personality to shine through when I'm in these group settings. I'm also a major introvert. I like to be by my lonesome, and that's really the place that I feel at home because I have some strange interests, and that's totally fine with me. I like to play with my tarot cards. I'm a bit of an astrology queen. Honestly, I just find it very, very interesting. And I practice a lot of spirituality, and that's become very mainstream, but I find that I practice it in ways that are not super mainstream. I love researching Greek gods and goddesses and just understanding the lessons that they teach us. And, these are great qualities to have. These are things that I'm interested in that make me me, and that's totally great. But they do not always come to the table when I'm, let's say, in a networking event or in a customer service position or in a meeting or talking to somebody's parents. These are things that I need to know how to put in my back pocket so that I can blend in and not just always be a weirdo. I like being a weirdo. I hope that that doesn't come off as harsh. Today's topic is guided by the subtopics of identity, blending in, knowing the right things to say, and allowing others to feel seen. Now, as I said, I'm a chameleon person. You can call it masking, and some people even want to call it two-faced, whatever you want. But at its core, it means creating a persona to suit your circumstance. When you're a chameleon person, each person you meet gets a different version of you. And some evidence that I have to support this, at least in my own life, is sometimes I feel like I don't have a lot of friends. And then the other day, I made a list of just all the people in my life who I would invite to a party. And there's like quite a few names. There's like 20 or 25 people on that list who I consider to be my friend. However, the thing that gets to me a little bit is some of my other friends, they have groups of friends. They have like 5 or 6 people that they hang out with all the time, and like this is my friend group. That's how it used to be for me in high school, but now I find myself meeting people in every walk of my life where I'm wearing many different faces, and each one of my friends knows a different version of me. They know me as an event planner, they know me as a podcaster, they know me as a business owner, they know me as a retail associate. They can know me in so many different ways, and for me to mesh them all together, it's a little bit intimidating. It's something that I intend on doing at some point, but it can be intimidating because they all know me differently. So each person that I meet gets a different version of me. And you get to also meet a new version of yourself with every person that you encounter. And I find it so interesting to get to know myself. This is why I have full-blown conversations with the cashier or with the waitress who sucks at her job. I like to be nice to people, but it is actually very self-serving as well because I get to understand myself better and I get to feel better every time that I am nice to somebody. And there is no problem under the sun with being nice to people. To me, being a chameleon person stems from wanting to have the correct answers, to dance around the spotlight so that the flaws and imperfections and things that I believe that other people don't believe are true can't be illuminated and they can remain in the dark. So that's giving people what they maybe want to hear versus what you actually believe to be true. This is something that, as a chameleon person, I need to work on to be just more forthcoming with information rather than beating around the bush in order to be nice. Now, on this show, we are going to talk about some of the setbacks of being a chameleon person. We've already covered some, but we'll go deeper into that. And we're also going to talk about the benefits of being a chameleon person, because it's not all bad. Being a chameleon person allows you to blend in and limits you from sharing your light with the world. You become a mirror to others, reflecting their light back to them. This is a beautiful quality, but the problem with this is in order to reflect the light of others back to them, you end up diminishing your own. I'll tell you more about why this is a beautiful quality later, but for now, let's focus on the setbacks. When you hide your true self in order to shift the focus away from your flaws, you lose touch with yourself. In my early years, I spent a lot of time in retail. Trust me, I'm a weirdo with less than mainstream hobbies and interests. I love to paint, and that's something I can talk about all day, but I don't like to paint normal subject matters. Like, for example, this painting, it's not finished, but it is a skeleton with butterfly appendages, so there's butterflies for hands and feet. And it also has a butterfly hip bone and chrysalises for its lungs. And I think it's cute. I think lots of people think it would be cute. But if you're in a retail setting and you're dealing with an old lady, she's gonna find that creepy. And it's not something that I feel comfortable bringing up to just anybody. Here I am bringing it up to the world on my YouTube channel, but that's beside the point. In a retail environment where you're dealing with the general public and a team, it's necessary sometimes to be palatable. A customer in your store looking for an outfit does not need to know about your political beliefs or your strange occultist practices or your beetle farm or your new addition to your feather collection. They need your professional opinion on how the outfit tailors to them, on how it fits into their closet, and how they can style it in multiple different ways. Not about you. This is not about you. So it's okay to put those quirky qualities on the back burner a little bit and make it about them. The challenge here is not in the way you hide your quirkiness to make those around you feel more comfortable. The challenge here is the exhaustion you feel and the need for release when you clock out. Think about the Coke bottle effect. This is something they talk about in neurodivergence quite a bit, in both ASD and in ADHD. The Coke bottle effect, if you think of a little kid who goes to school who's, sitting in the exact position the teacher wants them to sit in, they're sitting in the straight line that the teacher wants them to sit in, and they're following all of the perceived rules that they have accumulated over time. And then when they get home, it's like the Coke bottle has been shaken all day long and they need to have a release. So they're hyper, they're probably a little bit emotionally explosive, they're bouncing off the walls and just not following the rules that you have set for them at home. This is a kid with ASD or neurodivergence, but if you, let's say, aren't a person with ASD or neurodivergence, but you have some quirkiness to you, or you have some things that you just really, really identify with, but you don't feel like are palatable for the community or the people that you engage with. You need that release when you get home. You need to not be the Coke bottle who's pent up with so much pressure to be perfect or to dance around the perceived rules that you've picked up. You need to be able to let loose sometimes and just let that quirkiness go. For me, this is why painting is so important because I get to visualize all of the things that are always on my mind anyway. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt the need to hide who you are long term? Like perhaps your parents don't know that you have different religious beliefs than the way you were raised, or your roommate doesn't know that you're gay. It's like walking on eggshells in your own mind to avoid slipping up, saying the wrong thing, and making a scrambled mess of your own mind and of your relationships. I understand that sometimes this comes from a place of necessity and of safety, but who's to say that you're the one who has to shoulder the burden of opposing beliefs? If someone believes so fundamentally in what they believe that no one can believe differently, it's their foundations that will crumble when the truth of opposites becomes apparent. Please remember to keep yourself safe. And if you are hiding who you are for the sake of safety, just know that I see you. I love you, and that it will get better. I repeat, please keep yourself safe if allowing yourself to be your full self means jeopardizing your well being. The next thing to consider after considering the effectiveness of disagreeing with a fundamentalist in your life is release. A release is so necessary for everyone, and especially if you're in a space where you can't be who you are. Just like a hyper kid who sits still in school all day and comes home wired and bouncing off the walls, a chameleon person also needs an outlet so that they can have the space to allow their freak flag to fly. Like a safe friend to info dump your latest fixation on, or a hobby that allows you to tap into that sacred space within you to process the feelings you have that are yours and the ones that you've picked up unwittingly from someone else. Now we shift a little bit because there's beauty in being a chameleon person as well. You are the one who creates space for others to feel seen. As a chameleon person myself, I know that every time you help someone feel seen for their obscureness and uniqueness, it stems from a place in your heart that wanted somebody to do that for you. I hope you understand that you deserve to feel seen and accepted for your uniqueness. It is so beautiful to see people and understand immediately what they want to hear from you. It shows that you can see people's hearts and that you know that there are times not to create waves in the room that can quickly become tsunamis, that you're adaptable in any environment, and that you can work a room regardless of the audience. When you know how to blend in, you're able to ride the currents that flow around you. I just hope when you do blend in that you're not sacrificing your magic that heals in the waves that you create. Sometimes creating waves is necessary. Sometimes creating waves is helpful. When you're a chameleon person, you dim your light to allow others to shine. You become a flint to light people's fire, and your spark becomes backlit. You become a mirror reflecting back to people what they value and allowing them to see their own spark. What happens to a chameleon person when they allow their own spark to shine while creating space for the spark of others? The alchemy of differences happens, where your relationships become rich with diversity in knowledge and skill. When everyone is free to allow their truth to sing, the alchemy of give and take happens. Now, this episode is coming to a close, and I hope if you do have a chameleon person in your life that you give them space to just be their quirky self sometimes without explanation. And I hope if you are that chameleon person, you allow yourself that space to just be your full self without explanation, without feeling like you have to justify your quirkiness. And maybe you're a chameleon person and you're not quirky at all. I may be a bit quirky, but you don't have to be. I just hope that you know that you are allowed to be seen, that you're allowed to take up space and be in the limelight, and that people are here to support you in that, and that people are here to see you succeed, being exactly who you are, that you do not always, although it is important sometimes to put your quirkiness in your pocket if you're, let's say, helping an old lady. I hope you know that it's not always necessary for you to put that quirkiness in your pocket, that sometimes you are allowed to let your freak flag fly too. Thank you so much for listening to me. If you resonated with this, remember to give it a like and a subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I hope you enjoyed today's topic. Please share your feedback with me on any of my social channels, and remember to subscribe. If you would like to support this show, you can buy me a coffee with the link in the description. With your tip, you get lifetime access to downloadable activity sheets and the warmth in your heart knowing that you're helping a small business. I also have a marketing course called Marketing Mastery, a self-study program. There's no group component, there's only 4.5 hours of content that you can do in your own time, and it's packed with info about using platforms like emails and YouTube to grow customer lists, and social media to drive traffic to your customer lists. I also have one-on-one marketing consulting services for creative businesses, and if you'd like to discuss how I can help you in your business further, please reach out to me via email. And if you have feedback about my show, please use my social channels. You can find all relevant links in the description below, and thanks again for being with me, and I do hope you'll come again. Cheers for now!